dear friends, welcome back again. So happy you popped over again to see what I am up to today. For everyone who is new here, welcome. My name is Janny and I hope you enjoy what you see. And if you do, I hope you take a little bit of inspiration with you. For everyone here who is not subscribed to my channel, of course, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and of course, hit the bell so you will be notified every time I upload new DIYs. Like I always say, enough talking and let's jump into today's inspiration. And here you see already on the table other things we need for this DIY. We need, of course, our tumbling tile blocks. We use the smaller blocks. I have, of course, here my container with everything inside, some brushes, markers, scissors, some twine, some my pot, and of course the main part is, of course, the wood glue. I use a simple brand, Patex, and you can buy it anywhere, but of course you can use any brand. I have here my container with some paint. I think I'm going to use this one, but I don't know for sure. And of course I have here my saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue. And of course for everyone who is thinking what's he have on her hand, I have here a plastic glove because I have a little cuts in my hand. It was not really a little bit my own mistake, so don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. So we are going to make some stands, but of course with a twist, so I will see how this will turn out. And for everyone who is wondering how many packages do I need, I always say I don't know how many blocks I will use, but always make sure that you have 4 until 5 packages laying around, then you have always enough for the DIY. So we are going to start with the underside and we are going to make 5 blocks, 2 times 5, and this we are just going to glue some glue on the sides. On the longer side, place them against each other this way, and number 4 and number 5 is the closure up, and here again we do the same. You see already I have one hair in between. I don't know how it is possible always, but it's always some curly hair inside, so it must be for me. I am going to squeeze it, and I'm going to squeeze this from within, and make sure you see already this block is totally offline. You can already see how many smaller this one is. So this one can really get out because we can't use it anymore because it is so much smaller. So we're going to squeeze it, press it together. We're going to wipe away the glue. Over here the same, and again make sure that you have a straight line, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes. In the meantime, while these two are drying, we're going to get 4 blocks, and we do 4 blocks again. We're going to make the same sides, the longer sides, place them together. And that's the greatest. We can do this really fast because it's not a lot of blocks. So this is really easy to do. And we're going to squeeze it, and we're going to get now 3 blocks. And again, 3 blocks. We do here also the same. And we do number 2, and number 3 is the closure up. And number 2 again, and number 3, squeeze it, and now the last is 1 of 2, not 2, only 1 of 2. And now we're going to give all of them a couple of minutes drying. So we gave them a couple of minutes to so the 2 of 5, 2 of 4, 2 of 3, and 1 of 2. So what we're going to do, we do some glue over here, and we're going to place this in the middle over here. We do here the same, do some glue, place it also over here. We do some glue over here, and we place it again on top of here, and we do here the same, and we place it on top of here. We're going to place it on the side, and look for that you have it really in the middle, so that you have a little kind of a stair. Again, place this one also on the side, and also to give it a little bit of squeeze. And now we do the 1 of 2, and we do some glue on this side, but we turn it over, and we do also some glue on this side. We place this one over here, and now we're going to turn this one, and we're going to place this one on top of here. And of course we have to squeeze, but be careful because everything is not totally dried in yet, so be careful, just squeeze but not too much. Now we already have one of our first parts, so we're going to lay this aside and we're going to make the second one. So we're going to get again 5 blocks, again 5, and I do this one a little faster. We're going to do 4, and again another one of 4. We get 2 of 3, and again of 3 and 1 of 2. So how easy is this? And I'm going to do this as fast as I can. Of course, for everyone who doesn't want to see it, how it is made, I totally understand, like I always say, but for everyone who enjoys to see the real step by step, and I do it as fast as I can. And don't worry, with the other sizes, I don't do everything in front of camera, so don't worry about it. You won't be bored because this is going really fast. Of course, this one can here, and this one is over here, and the last, and now we only get the 3 parts, and the last of 3 already, and place this against, and the number 2. Now we already have everything we need. We're going to squeeze it and give it a couple of minutes rest. So we gave it a couple of minutes again, and we do the same over here. We place some glue and place it in the middle. We do here some glue, place it in the middle. We do here the same, place it over here, and this one, and this is on both of the sides over here, and we're going to place this straight up. We're going to place this one straight up. We're going to look for that everything is fitting nicely. We place this one straight up and do everything carefully and take your time. That's the key always, take your time for it. So I'm going to place this one in the middle. Oh, you see already I would almost do it wrong. I'm going to place this one over here, and of course be sure, but don't press too hard, only in the middle until everything is settled in for a little bit. And you see already I need to move a couple of pieces because or else it is not a nice side, because you need some little kind of stairs. And we're going to give this also a couple of minutes. So now we have 2 pieces of this. You see already how easy was this to make. We are going to now make the middle piece for it. We are going to use 2 blocks, and we're going to place this one over here and this one. So we do some glue on this side, place it down on this side and this side, and we do it very easy. We're going to squeeze this together, squeeze this one together, and we're closing it up with number 4. So make sure that you have a nice straight line because you want that everything is fitting nicely. We're going to wipe away the glue, and this is already one of the first, and we're going to make another one. So very easy, some glue again on the tops, over here and over here. We do it over here and over here, and we're going to squeeze it again against this block, and we're going to close it up with this block. Again, squeeze it, wipe away the glue, and now we're going to make the last, and this will be the middle piece of our, and you see already I totally forgot the underside of the other side over here. And now we're going to squeeze this one, and we're closing it up with this one, and we're going to make sure that the line is straight because we don't want a crooked one. But here it is really important that you have the blocks at the same size, or else it doesn't fit, at least as much as you can. So I'm going to wipe away the glue, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. So we have our 3 parts, and you see already this is how it's looking like. Very easy. What we're going to do, we're going to take one piece, we're going to do some glue on this side, and we're going to place this one exactly in the middle. So over here, squeeze it, and the middle is very easy to find because it is 5 blocks and 3 in the middle. You place your piece in, and of course I need to go a little to the back side because I didn't have it totally in the middle. Now I do. And now I'm going to give it some pressure from the top. If you want to wipe away the glue, it's very easy. Get a small brush and wipe away the glue over here. And we do it on this side. And of course also on this side. Or else with painting you still can see it. If you want to stain your piece, then it's always better to sand it first and then do some stain over it. So I'm going to give this a couple of minutes because he has to lay down, and this is not the way to lay it down. So my idea was to lay it down and then glue these two parts on here, but I think I'm going to try to do it this way. Just do some glue on the underside on one of them, place them over here on the ending. We do here the same, and we're going to place this one on this side, of course also on the ending. So be sure, take your time for it to place it where you want to have it, and also on this side make sure that it is a straight one, and give it a little moment to get stuck to your piece, because you don't want that it is later that it's falling down. That's not what you want for your DIY, but if it does, I also show it to you, because mistakes are also part of DIY. Everyone has their days, and days which are going really wrong. My days which are going wrong are a lot. So don't worry if you have the same problem than me. So again, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, and then we're going to glue the other top on here. So now we do carefully some glue on this side, over here. We do it on the middle one, and we do it on this one. And then we're going to place this one on top, exactly in the middle. So we will see if I come out correctly, and if it looks like it really comes out nicely. I don't know how it's possible, but it is. Most of the time it doesn't fit, and I have to work with it. But right now I'm going to give it some pressure. Maybe I'm going to place some paint can on top and let it dry in. So in the corner on top you still see already the top of the paint can, because I placed it on top of my stand. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get 5 blocks, because we make a kind of a, not a tray, but at least a piece on top. We do 2 pieces of 5, and we're going to glue them together this way. Just very easy, the longest side. And number 4. And number 5 is a closure up, and number 2. And this is the for me the middle size. Yeah, you can also use it as a candle holder. You can make a bird house on top of it. You can use this stand for a lot of things. You can do maybe a tray on top. That's the great. You can use it for anything. So again, squeeze it. I'm going to squeeze it. And make sure that we have a straight line, and we're going to wipe away the glue this way. And again, always look for that it isn't gone crooked. So we're going to let this rest for a couple of minutes. So I gave it a couple of minutes. Of course it is not dry, but I'm going to place it on the side, and I'm going to place this two also together. And now you still can fill in the gaps if you have them in between. If you wait longer than a couple of minutes, then it's difficult to get the gaps away. So, and now we can easily squeeze it together. We're going to give this now at least a 10-15 minutes drying before we're going to glue it on top. So you see, now we're going to take our stand. What we're going to do, we're going to do some glue over here. Very easy. Try to do it on each a little bit. I'm going to squeeze it out this way, and now I have to look, because I don't want it this way, because then or else it would be even wide, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to turn it this way. So the blocks are going to run the longer side this way. I'm going to place my piece, and you see already here are the blocks walking this way, and here are they going this way. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to place it in the middle. Of course I have to move it. You saw already I didn't have it in the middle. I'm going to squeeze it, press it down, and I'm going to let it dry in for at least a couple of minutes before I'm going to turn it. In the meantime, while we are going to let this dry in, we're going to place it aside. Make sure that you have it in the middle when you place it aside, because you don't want that you're coming back later and it's totally out of line. That's not what you want, because then you can remove it again. We are going to make our own candle. At least I'm going to make my own candle. I don't know if you're going to make your own candle. So we will see how this turned out. I never made my own candle, but I think it's very easy to do. So I'm going to make 4, and again another 4, and another 4, and another 4, and we're going to do 6 pieces of 4. So how easy is this? We're just going to make a square candle, and we're going to place it the longer side, and we're going to do some glue. And number 1 is this already. We're going to go for number 2 and place it together. And you can make it as big as you like, but I'm already doing this so it can dry, because I need to drill a hole later. So again 4, and almost the last piece of 4, and again this one, and now we do the last, and number 2, number 3, and number 4, and again squeeze it, squeeze, and here, and here, and here, and then we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. So now we have our 6 pieces of 4, and we're going to do it very easy. Do some glue, place it on top, again some glue, we place this one on top. I make one big mess out of it. You see already I'm going with my glue, but it doesn't matter. Again some glue, and we place this one over here, and the last, and we do this one on top, and now we're going to place them on the side, and we're going to squeeze it. And now we can easily, because we didn't wait too long, again same like we did with the holder, now we can easily move everything and place all of them in a straight line. But if you use hot glue, it's a little bit more difficult what I do right now, because hot glue is gluing and you can't move it again, or else you're going to break it. And that's the sad always with hot glue, it breaks very easy. So again, I'm going to make sure that I leave it in for a couple of minutes like this, because we are going to work later with it. In the meantime, while this is drying already, we are going to make the second candle, because we need another one for the other candle. So we're going to place this together, and we do the same routine that we did with the other one. We're going to make 6 blocks of 4, but we do it in the length like you already saw with the first one. And then I'm going to try later to let it look like a candle. I don't know if I succeed or not, but I had it in my head, and maybe why don't I make my own candle? So we will see how this would, and it fits nicely together, because your blocks are in a kind of a square this time. So maybe is it also nice to have your candle in a square. But I don't know if this will work or not, but I always say we will see at the end how this turned out. So we're going to squeeze it again, and we're going to let it rest for a couple of minutes. So we do here the same like we did with the other one. We just do some glue. We do here some glue, and over here, and over here, and the last. Of course, it's little over here, because we need to give all the pieces some glue. This over here, and this one on top. Place it on the side, make a nice square, and you're going to very carefully going to squeeze it again, the same like you did with the first block. And this way, and make sure that you have the shape you like, and then we're going to let it dry. And both of them needs to dry at least a couple of hours, because if you're going to drill a little hole in the middle, it's always tricky if you don't wait too long. So I'm going to give this a couple of hours, but first we're going to work with the sides to make it more look like a real candle. So now I also have my 2 pieces, which will be later as a candle, but I was thinking of making a little hole inside and then do some piece of twine to look like a candle. But maybe I'm going to do it different, but you will see that in a moment. But before we're going to take 2 pieces and like this. Oh, you see already, I need to do the lid off. I'm going to do this one against each other and this one against each other, and I do this also again with another 2. Oh, and another 2, because we have 2 candles. So I'm going to make the flame my own way. So I don't know, like I always tell you, if it looks very nice later, but we will see. This is already one. You do this on top and place this over here. So we're going to squeeze it. Make sure that you have a straight line. We do it over here, squeeze it, and we're going to give this a couple of minutes, and then we're going to lay it aside for drying. What we're going to do, we're going to make another stand of holder, how you call it. We take 5 blocks again, and we take again 5 blocks, but we do this of course 2 times. This is already number 2, but we need 3 of the same, so we go for and over here and this one. So we need 6 pieces of 5, because we're going to need 3 base pieces of our holder. So you take 6 pieces of 5 and we're going to glue them the same like we did with the other one, but I do it a little faster. So we have our 6 pieces of 5. Now we're going to get, oh, you see already, they are falling already down. That's not what we want. We get 4 pieces, again 4, and also again 4, another set of 4, we have another set of 4 over here, and the last again 6 sets of 4. Also I'm going to do also this one faster. So we have our 6 of 5, 6 of 4, and now we only need the 6 of 3. I'm going to lay them down again only, and then I'm going to do this also a little faster out of camera so you don't get bored. So again the last pieces of 6 of 3, but I also do already 3 pieces of 2. So 1, number 2, and number 3. So I do them in the same time. So if everything is correctly, you have for the bigger stand, you have 6 of 5, 6 of 4, 6 of 3, and 3 pieces of 2. So now we're going to get 1 of 5 and another 1 of 5, and there you are again, and you just fell out of me. My telephone was totally full with DIY, so he didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm going to place this on the side. You saw me doing 2 pieces of 5 and 2 pieces of 4. I'm going to use, of course, this one. I have to get my thoughts right. I'm going to do some 1 of 4. I'm going to do on top of the 1 of 5, and I'm going to do here the same. Place this on top. Now we go 2 of 3. Oh, you see already. This is already 1 placed on top of here, and we're going to do over here 1 of 3 and place it over here, and we do 1 of 2 and we place this one over here, and now we do again some glue on the 1 of 2, place it on the side, and we're going to place this one on the side and we place it on top of each other, and we're going to give it a little bit of pressure and look for that you have it everything in the middle where you want to have it. And you see already this one needs to go to the side, and you can easily see if you have them in a straight line. If you place 1 of 5 on the side, and you can easily see if you have them straight or not. So again, give it a little bit of pressure, and we're going to let this dry. I'm going to make the last one because we already now have 2, but we need number 3. So now we have our 3 pieces we use for the middle of the stands. Now we're going to place, of course, again the same like we did earlier. We're just going to make a little kind of a window. So we do some glue on this side, place it down this side and this side, and we squeeze until this side over here, this over here, and we're closing it up with the other one. Again, squeeze it like this, and we're going to wipe away the glue, and we are going to make not 3 but we're going to make 6 from this kind of little kind of windows. So I'm going to make 6 out of this one. And now we have the middle piece. Now we're going to get another one, and we're going to glue them on the side. So one over here, make sure that you have it on the ending of the line, and the one off over here, and we're going to place this one over here. I will do the other one the same, but I do it a little faster. So now we have 2 pieces like this and 1 loose. So we're going to build, so we're going to do a line over here, we do a line over here, and we do a line over here. And of course, don't make a mess like I do. I'm going to place this one very carefully on top of this one. So make sure that you have a nice straight line again. Feel with your fingers and give it a little bit of pressure, not too much, but lightly. And feel with your fingers if you have everything fitting nice. And then we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. It's my stand over here because he's already getting too big. I'm doing the same. I'm doing some glue on top of here, a little line, and a line over here, and a line over here. And I'm going to place the last piece on top over here. And then we're going to let it rest at least for a couple of hours. So I'm going to work with it so everything is fitting nicely, and like I said, then we're going to let it rest. So now we have our 2 stands which are drying. Of course, we need the top of our stand, and that's again 5 blocks, and again 5 blocks, and we do the same because we need a kind of a tray where our candle can stand on. So again, number 3 and number 4, and again the last, and number 3 and 4, and number 5 is the closure up again. I'm going to squeeze it like this, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. Of course, we're going to wipe away the glue we don't need, and make sure that you press everything nicely together in a straight line. And we give it a couple of minutes, and then we're going to glue it together. So now I'm going to place one on the side, the same like we did with the first one, and we're going to glue them together. Make sure that you fill in the gaps. It's easy to do, and then you're going to wipe away everything clear from the glue, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest, and then we're going to place our holder on top of here, and then you already have your 2 holders. What we're going to do, we are going to work with, of course, our candles. So now we're going to get our pieces which we use as a candle hole, as a candle. I have here a little how you call it in the Netherlands, we call it een kommetje. I don't know how you call it, a little cup. I really have no idea, but at least a little bowl. And I'm going to get my wood filler, and I'm going to get an old brush, and I'm going to do some wood filler inside of here because I only need it for a little moment over here, and I'm going to place it back because it dries very fast. And we're going to give it some structure on the side because we want to give it a little bit the look from a candle, but not too thick. So don't do it too thick. Normally I like to play around and make it very thick, but of course we don't do it this time. So, but it is so nice to do. It's just making a little mess, and I like to make messes. So I'm going to go around, and of course don't forget the corners over here. I'm going to do it this way, and just make your own unique little pattern you like. You can go with a kind of a comb through it and make nice lines, but everyone is free to do what they want. And I make that already right now so I can let it dry, and then we can easily paint it. So again, and we're going to do, of course, a little of the top, but the top we don't do too much. We're just going to place it down, and we only do a little of the structure, but not too much, and at least in the middle make sure that it is flat in the middle. So only around we go for a little bit of structure, so kind of like this. And of course in the middle make a little kind of a flat piece, because there we need our flame. So I think we are very, at least what I like. Everyone can do it their own way. I will do the second one also. So in the meantime, while our candles are drying, we are going to take the bigger stand, and you see already I have to place it a little closer to you, and I'm going to do some glue on top, because we need to glue the tray on top. I'm going to do this, and now we're going to turn it over, and again, here are the lines this way and here are they this way, so we can easily turn it upside down and place it on top, of course in the middle. And we're going to give it some pressure, and we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we're going to take the 2 blocks we already made, the 2 pieces of 4, because they double up, and we are going to make a flame out of it for on top of our candle. Of course, I did get my marker and I made this flame. Of course you can make it with maybe some over here a lining, that you make it in a different shape. I'm going to try to go for this one. I think I like a little bit more from the simple side. What you also can do, if you have battery operated tea lights and they are broke, maybe you can easily, the top you can screw off and you can easily place them on top of your candle also. So you don't have to make them from wood, but I want to see how they are looking like from wood, because they are a little bit more thicker and yeah, a little bit, yeah, I don't know how you say it, but it looks even more that everything is fitting nicely together. So I'm going to cut out this one, and then I'm going to do this one the same, so we have 2 of them. And here you see the little flames I just cut out with my jigsaw. And of course you can do it also with some hand saw, you can do it with some double-sided cardboard. I couldn't come on the name. At least some cardboard, you can do double it up and make it from cardboard. You can do anything you like. Of course, what we're going to do, we're going to paint our pieces. So I'm going to do the holders. I'm going to do, I think, in the creamy color. I do my candle in some wax, because then it even looks a little bit more like a candle. And maybe I also do this one in creamy color, or maybe also in brown. I have to look for it. But first we're going to paint. So I'm going to start on the top and work my way down with my paint. And you also can, if you like more like a glam person, you can spray it gold or maybe silver. So you can go all the way, and for any color and for any home decor you can use it. So I'm going to do this a little faster, because or else you get very bored seeing me painting. So we are not going to do that. You see in a moment when they are painted. So our candle holders are drying right now. I did also a base under it, under the flame. I did a base of the creamy color, and then I'm going to do some brown over it. First I'm going to start with my antique wax, and it's very easy to do. And of course it is a cheap brand, so don't buy too expensive ones, because it's just a bee wax, like we call it here bijenwas, but I don't know if you call it also in other countries a bee wax, but let me know in the comments if you call it also a bee wax. But I'm going to give it a little bit of coat of brown. So just go over it and make sure that you let the structure come out, because I am really loving how the structure is turned out. So I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to paint this totally in a little bit of the brown color. So I have both of my pieces, which will be candles, in the wax color, and let it dry. And I did the flames also, like I said, in the creamy color, but I did distress it around the sides only, not more, only the sides. And I'm going to let this dry also. But of course now I have all the pieces painted and in the wax, and of course you see in a moment the quick impression. And here you see finally a quick impression of my tumbling tile blocks candle holders with our homemade candles. And I'm so happy how they turned out. You use some wood, a little bit of a wood filler, and you make your own cute little candles. Of course I hope you give this one also a try. And if you're new here, I hope you enjoy what you saw, and if you do, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up and hit the bell so you will be notified every time I upload new DIYs. And for everyone who is here only for watching, I hope you had fun watching again. And of course, if you want to see more DIYs, come on over to my description box. There you find the link for our DIY channels. Hope to see you there. And of course, everyone have an amazing day. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.